Welcome everybody to Turning Everything to Gold with Zenzi and Carrie. We are on the first of 7 different series where we're going to talk about the chakras and the energy and how they work and what they're connected to, and maybe share some stories and examples of class and growth and the journey, our personal journey really, of transition and clearing and balancing the energy of the body, specifically focused on the chakras is what we're going to work on. So we're going to start today with the Muladhara chakra, which is the root chakra, and it's about home, survival, daily life. It can be work. It's associated with red and or black. The earth energy is very much connected to the color black. Red. But I would say black is more aligned with protection when you're working with the root chakra. So on your journey, just working with the root, because when you started, how did that kind of connect with you? How did you work with that energy?
Well, I think when I first started on the journey, I had no idea what the chakras were at all whatsoever. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. I went to a practitioner and she asked me a bunch of questions and asked me to describe, what was happening in my day-to-day life and things like that. So I told her, and then she kind of figured out which chakras were being affected the most. And for me, when I first started on this journey, it wasn't the root. But now looking back, I think, the root wasn't the main problem. The main problem was the solar plexus, which we'll get to. But I guess the secondary issue was the root chakra, because when the root chakra is not aligned, as you know, there's a lot of fear. It's a fear-based anxiety, stress, things like that, and all of those things I was feeling, but even more so with some other feelings as well. So the root is the base, and it's also called the base chakra. When I was in the United Kingdom, that's what they call it over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's,
I love it.
I mean, there's the Sanskrit name, there's what we call it. I mean, it's different in other cultures, but base or root is typically what it's called. So, but yeah, I do have notes because
I love it.
I mean, I went through my notebooks and all of my studying. So I wrote down things. I was like, oh, this is something that I want to talk about. And then like crystals that we can use to
different ways to balance them
without,
in the comfort of your own home.
In the comfort of your own home, without other types of intervention medicinally. Because for anxiety, you can take something like a benzodiazepine, which most people know as Xanax, but those have other side effects and cause other issues. So there are ways holistically to heal these issues, and so that's kind of, I think, what we're both trying to do is trying to get away from taking a pill to make something feel better. You can work within yourself or go to a practitioner, and if you don't even know where to start, because I didn't even know where to start. How I found someone to do a chakra alignment was crazy.
So what, after really not knowing about the chakras or maybe the energy, what really pushed you to seek that out? And then what was it first that kind of found you?
So it was my really good friend, Jamie. She was struggling with infertility at the time. And she had tried everything. They were doing fertility treatments, everything. And their next step was going to have to be in vitro fertilization. And she really didn't want such an invasive process. So she was actually looking for holistic ways to figure this out. And there was a woman who was in this little store, and she had people that would come in and do massage therapy and chakra alignments and all kinds of different holistic stuff. And so she made an appointment and she went, and then, you know, the next day we were talking, and she was like, it was wild. She goes, I could feel it coming, whatever, because her sacral, which is the next one up from the root, was blocked, and she could feel it being pulled out, but also she could feel the resistance, because a lot of times we have energy in our chakras that are resistant to leaving. They want to stay.
Question, what was being pulled out? So people would understand.
Well, for her, with the sacral, it was, because the sacral is more the womb, the creative womb, the female womb of reproduction. So whatever trauma was stored in there from childhood, because, and we'll get into this, the sacral really begins to develop, I think it's between the ages of 8 and 14. So, or you do your most developing. So the root develops between 0 and 2, and then 8 to 14. So any trauma within that time really can affect your chakra. So just like any trauma within 0 to 2, or even, to be honest with the chakras, any trauma at all. But specifically for each, there's kind of an age range. So the trauma that she was going through, she felt it being released, and then 2 weeks later, was it? Yeah, because it was the beginning of July, she was pregnant. So.
And how long had she been trying to become pregnant?
They've been trying for over a year.
So she's been trying over a year. She went and had energy clearing to clear out any energetic or emotional blockage or trauma that had happened.
Correct.
And then within 2 weeks.
She was pregnant, and
That's amazing.
And right around when she found out she was pregnant, and then I was like, okay, I'm going, because I had a lot of things.
You're like,
I was like, okay, this seems to be great. So I have a lot of things going on in my life, because again, at the beginning of that summer, it was just a total, like, one thing after another, after another, after another. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to not be in pain anymore. And I really feel like with the chakras and going to do an alignment or do any kind of holistic healing, you know, you've tried everything. You've tried the antidepressants, you've tried all the medicinal stuff. It's not working. And these are great tools. I'm not saying medicinal therapy is not good. That's not what I'm saying at all. This just really worked for me, where when the medicine stopped working, it really stopped working. And this has been something that's been consistent in doing this kind of work is, you know, you don't have, well, I got to go to the doctor to increase the dosage, or I have to come off this now because I'm having really bad side effects that I didn't have when I started. So that's kind of how it started for me.
I love to kind of find where the beginning is, because energy, emotions, trauma, stress, I mean, all the way back to childhood, doesn't matter how old you are, you know, we all have things that we go through, which that's kind of how the energy can get stuck, or the emotion can get trapped in the physical body. People don't realize they're carrying it around. It can come out sometimes if you're triggered, or you have ruminating thoughts or things that are taking you down maybe a path that doesn't feel like it's serving your highest good, or you get into the same cycle of things that you're doing that's not healthy. And so the energy trapped in the body is the work that we do as well. This is kind of the beginning of the journey to start on clearing and balancing these specific energy. And all a chakra is a vortice of energy where different meridian lines come together, and there are 7 main that run up and down the spine.
The root is tailbone, bottom of your spine.
That's the location, the color associated black and or red. And they're each associated with a different color, and then they have a different connection, a life experience, emotion. And if you go to an energy practitioner and you do a balancing and a clearing, like you were saying, this woman has tried things for a year and then she went. Sometimes even when you go to the doctor, I work with an acupuncturist, and she does pain management, and she'll send me clients, and she says, sometimes I'm doing this, I'm working on clearing and helping. She's working on the meridian system in a tangible way, working with the needles, but it is, she said, sometimes I'm dealing with pain and it won't go away because it's spiritual or it's emotional, and this modality isn't going to work, and they come here and things start to lift. So the combination of two is really powerful. I would love say the holistic side. Yeah,
I had severe neck pain for, I would say, years, and then we did that our class, the Rich training in February, remember? And Christine did something and it was gone, but it came back, and I was like, okay. But that was February, it's totally gone now.
Wow.
It doesn't come back at all. Wow. So as I've been working on myself and working with other people, that whatever that was, and it was left side, so left side is the mother side, or the female.
Yes.
The female.
So that's what you've been dealing with.
Yeah, so that's what I've been dealing with, mother side, but so the female side, but since I've put these things into practice, like it just clears it. And acupuncture didn't work, the chiropractor didn't work, muscle relaxers were great, but they wear off, and then you don't want to get addicted to that stuff it's not great for your body in general. So I didn't want to be, I wanted to heal myself, so yeah. But the root is typically what I'm noticing, I have to say this, is there's a lot of people in this world suffering from an unbalanced, not aligned root chakra. There's so much fear in the world, and I think a lot of things that we take in visually or through the news or from media, there's the things that we see on social media, I think that deeply affects that. And when we've had trauma from 0 to kind of early childhood, and then we also are taking this information in, it's just a recipe for disaster. And you have to go in, and you have to be vigilant, and you have to keep clearing that out.
So what are some of the ways that an unbalanced, because that's where the energy, that's the base where the energy comes up. So if that is off, then the energy will be off.
It's hard for everything to be aligned.
Correct.
Right. So when you have an off root chakra, everything kind of, is a little bit skewed.
How does it present itself if it's off, if it's not flowing, or it's not in the right kind of in the way?
I do have to have notes because I'm not.
I love
I need them.
And I want to just
feel bad
acknowledge
about
right
it.
now your purple shirt with your purple writing and your beautiful handwriting.
Yes.
And I don't do.
I get so many compliments on my
handwriting.
It
doesn't look like that.
It's being raised in Connecticut. Okay, we worked on penmanship once a week, every week.
That's amazing.
I don't even know because my other ones are so.
And I do want to say while you're doing that sometimes, like when I do sound therapy, I'm doing sound healing, and I have the 7 crystal bowls and playing bowls for the vibrational side, the holistic healing through that, the 432 hertz. Sometimes I'll play the bowls, and one bowl, for example, let's take the root chakra, that bowl will be the worst. The sound is off, it's too loud, or it's too dark, or it's too heavy. And then after we're finished, I say, okay, it's very uncomfortable for their ears, or something like this. And then I go in and say, okay, which bowl? And they say, the one that's connected to the root. And I say, okay, what's going on with your home? Are you in transition in work? How is the relationship? Who lives in your home? Does it feel balanced?
Are you feeling insecure? Are you...
Is there fear coming in?
Yeah, anxiety, stress, loss of like your personal bearings. Like, has somebody moved in and you don't feel comfortable now in
your sacred space?
Exactly. Just
it comes
changes
out
at work.
Forms.
It manifests totally in other ways, and it's really that stress and anxieties. I mean, I know so many people that are just anxious all the time. First of all, they're not breathing. You just tell that, you just say, take deep breaths, and they're like, I'm like, no, please.
Shallow breath.
Take a deep breath. Like, I think, I definitely think breathing is definitely huge in clearing the energy in the moment, right? So
the proper breath too,
the proper
which is
breath, yes.
a diaphragmatic lower belly, slowing down the breathing, because that upper chest is only about 20 to 30% of the air capacity. So if you're doing a shallow breath regularly, subconsciously, it's just, or even it just will take you to a place of more stress and more anxiety because you're not getting enough oxygen. It takes you to that space. So
for sure,
just telling the body to soften and focus on the proper breath for about 5 minutes can help to reset and balance.
Yes.
Doesn't clear the energy to the root chakra, but it at least brings
clears
you back
it
into
in the
alignment.
moment. It can help. It eases the anxiety in the moment so that we can now focus on the bigger issue, whatever that is. Or just be present in the moment and be like, okay, what is really going on here? Because I know so many people have that anxiety, and it's like, that is 100%. When you have that chronic anxiety, like everyone gets, like, I'm anxious about doing this right now, but that's not a chronic anxiety.
Right.
You know, I didn't not sleep last night. I mean, the old Carrie wouldn't have slept. She probably would have called you today and said, I just can't do this. Something's come up. She would have totally lied. She would have lied.
I would have said, you're coming over anyway.
She would have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. My car won't start. No, she totally. What about your husband's car? No, that's not going to work. I can't touch his car. No, she would have been too scared and anxious to even, come here today. But like the Carrie that came today is more grounded. That's how you know when it's in balance, when you feel like strong in the world. Like you can go out into the world and whatever comes at you, you're good. Yes. I'm good. Whatever comes my way, it's fine. When you feel grounded and like secure. Yeah.
Safe.
When the root chakra's off, you do not have any sense of security. And I think a lot of people struggle with that because I think trauma is just something that we've all had in our lives. I don't think I know anyone that hasn't been through a traumatic experience as a child or a young child or an adult or a young adult, or and it's, you have to deal with those things. We just shove them down, and I think we've shoved it down into the root, and now it's blocked. So
what are some ways and tools for people to clear or balance or just maybe get to this space to bring a little regulation, or to where they find that safety? Like, what are some tools for people to use?
For me, the big thing was crystals. I'll get into that in a second because I absolutely love crystals. And I actually had a woman a few months ago at work, and I was like putting them in my bra because crystals work best when you put them skin to skin contact. So crystals on the body, right? Yes. So on the body. So I love crystals, and I have some recommendations for specifically if you're struggling with the root. And then meditation was huge for me. I think meditation for all the chakras is huge. Learning how to breathe, breath work, super, super important. I also love frequency music because frequency music, even when you're meditating, and we'll get into this in a little, maybe in a couple more sessions, but more into meditation and the proper way to do it and what exactly it is. But I just, at the start of the pandemic, it was let's figure this out, and Deepak Chopra was doing a free 21-day meditation, and I couldn't do it. I remember sitting in my backyard in the grass and being like, I can't clear my mind. And I just, at that time, it was, everyone was feeling the security and the fear, but it was like heightened for me. So I knew something was off. I didn't know about chakras. Then it was 2 full years before I even learned about that.
Well, I have a thought on the meditation or trying to clear the mind. I was working with a group yesterday at the hospital, and they had a misperception of what meditation was. Yeah. That it was, I have to clear out all the thoughts. How am I going to shut my mind down? And I said, okay, let's go a different direction. Let's focus only on the breathing, and instead of focusing on trying to close the mind off or close the mindless chatter, which is going to be almost
impossible.
Impossible.
The Dalai Lama can probably do it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He can do it.
So it was a instead of that, have the thought of we're going to focus on the breath for about 5 minutes, and we're going to train our mind to be focused on feeling the flow of oxygen, maybe following it down to the root chakra and bringing the mind there, because it's such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
So if the mind starts to wander off into another direction,
That's
gently guide it back. And so it's an easier practice than thinking, oh, I got to close the mind down and shut down all the thoughts.
And with the root in the Sanskrit, it's the word is lam. So just to bring your mind back if you're doing meditation. I'm just making sure that I have that right, because I'm pretty sure.
You know what you said?
What?
Sanskrit.
Did I say that?
And you know it's
Sanskrit.
No, you know what this cutest thing is? Because you've been wearing these
Sanskrit.
you've been wearing these most beautiful skirts, and I think I would much rather call it Sanskrit. It's so cute.
I write it Sanskrit. I know it's Sanskrit. I called it Sanskrit.
It's
yes.
It's
But now I have
we
to
just
make
have
sure,
to acknowledge the cuteness.
because I haven't. Yes,
Well,
I used to do only mantra, and if I was focused on the root, I would, but I haven't done that in 5 years. So I do a different form of meditation now.
I don't typically use the Sanskrit words. When I was in yoga teacher training, and we would do like maybe the different yoga poses and for kids class, or just, teaching people. When people didn't have the training, it was easier to say the root chakra. So we just got into saying the root and connecting the color, because it was easier for people to align with, unless they were going and wanted to do kind of the deep dive in the yoga teacher training.
I think that's what it was too for me.
So
I was
just
like,
I love base chakra. Yes,
base is good. Yeah.
They're all
the
good.
base.
There you go. It is. It
We're
really
building on the
is.
base, the strong base.
It so is.
But I would say for me, grounding too. Oh my gosh, I love grounding. So it's so interesting. I love
so
to
popular
go,
right now.
It's super popular, but I love to go barefoot. I've always loved to go barefoot.
Me too.
And then when I was probably 11 or 12, maybe 10, I woke up in the middle of the night to screaming. And I was like, what is going on? And my mother and my stepfather were in the bathroom with my stepsister, and she had gotten worms. And my mother was like, no one's going barefoot anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Because they thought that they had gotten it that she had gotten it. I mean, her grandparents had pets, her mother had a pet, we don't really know where it came from. But the fear was that it was, so for a long time I just didn't go barefoot, but I always loved going barefoot.
Beneficial and connected.
In the grass.
That helps the root chakra, it helps the energy, it helps with inflammation. It's so healing. To be able to do that, but really good. That's a fantastic grounding. And then gardening, which also very funny. I reached out to my sister and my in-laws this morning because they're on a different path, which is great. Hi guys. But they garden a lot, and I love gardening.
My in-laws have the most beautiful garden in Georgia. I just love going and sitting in their garden when we're there, and they garden a lot. And I was like, do you wear gloves when you garden? Because I'm trying to figure out, and my sister too, I'm trying to figure out, because if you don't, they don't like to go barefoot in their backyard because they have dogs, and they're like, they're pretty good about cleaning up the poop. I went barefoot in their backyard. I'm like, you got a hose? I'll wash it off. It's fine. But so I was like, do you guys wear gloves? And they're like, at this time and this time we do. They don't use any chemicals really. They use all natural.
I love that. All organic.
They could talk to you for days about their garden.
I could probably sit and talk to them for days.
Yeah,
too.
my sister too. And because she has diabetic neuropathy in her feet. So she really can't go barefoot because she can't feel her feet. And if she cut it open, she wouldn't even know. And then it wouldn't really heal because the circulation is so poor. So she's been super into gardening. And I was like, do you wear gloves? And she's like, no, I don't use chemicals, so I don't. So the grounding and just the touching of the earth. And even my brother-in-law, he was, because I was doing a million things trying to get ready to come here. And he was like, I'm dying to know why you're asking us all these questions. He's like, are we going to get cooties, or are we like bonding with Mother Nature? Like, what's happening here? I'm like, actually, you're bonding with Mother Nature. So, so that would also be another tool for just feet in the dirt, hands in the dirt, just time in nature. Drumming, listening to drumming is huge. I love drums. Frequency, I definitely would do frequency music, and then drums. And then I guess the nature sound, which is crazy because I've been super into this lately, is volcanoes for the root chakra. Like the sounds of volcanoes like erupting.
Interesting.
Which you can find on YouTube. You can find everything there. Everything.
I'm going to be honest, I've never experienced that before. So your butterfly flew away. It's okay.
It's okay. They'll come back.
They'll come back.
Next season, maybe. Next podcast. Butterfly will be back. But crystals is like my number one jam.
Tell us what the crystals are.
Crystals are energy, and you say this all the time, and I did not realize this, that they have studied crystals, and they definitely carry a frequency and an energy, and it's a natural healer for the body, and that's why it's important that it's on the body, and also so they just bring that energy of healing to to whatever you're trying to heal. So okay, my favorite crystal, I don't even need to look at my notes. My favorite crystal for the root is black tourmaline. Love it. Every day, it's in my pocket at work. I also have, and this one's kind of hard to find, but it's Numite, and it's from Greenland. And so black tourmaline, I have to write this down. It protects from EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. That's all the stuff that's in the air.
Protective stone.
So it protects.
It's really grounding.
Yeah, it's good for our energy, like moving the energy, turning negative into positive, which when people start getting crazy with me at work, I just...
you bring out your crystal.
Over them. When the computer starts going crazy, and people like laugh, but now, used to laugh, but now they're like, do you have your rocks on? I'm like, yeah, what do you need?
Yeah, you've done such a transformation that now they can see this is working.
And to be honest, they feel better, and they don't know why they feel better. They're just like, remember that time I was freaking out, and you were like, you need some black tourmaline, just let me cleanse you, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, I really felt better. I'm like, I know. There was a woman, she was like, does this, they think you're crazy, and that I'm totally fine with that. Nobody's ever thought I was normal, that's fine. But they think you're nuts. But when it starts to work, they start to go, well,
I feel better. I feel different.
I feel better. Something is different. I feel, and then it goes away. And then they're like, well, that didn't work. Well, no, it did work, but you haven't maintained it. You have to maintain these things.
Just like breathing, if you want to practice proper breath and really be able to reset your body and mind, it's something that needs to be practiced. It's just like you want to go to the gym and you want to have this physique, you have to, there's a regular practice on it, and it's the same thing. It doesn't have to be long periods, but it is an awareness because the mind is so strong to keep it focused on the proper breath. So, and then
I love onyx. That's all of them are pretty much do the same. They're very similar. Protection, negative into positive. Onyx feels safe and strong, steadies, encourages. Physical strength is good for onyx when you need that. Hematite, I do love hematite. It neutralizes negativity, helps to keep you grounded and present. I use hematite. I use a hematite rosary that I got in Ireland when I pray every morning.
Oh, that's
every morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
And when I do, like when I'm shuffling my cards, I have it in my hand. And then black obsidian prevents psychic attacks because most people aren't even aware that they're being psychically attacked. When people are wishing ill on you, that's really a form of a psychic attack, or when they're actively trying to hurt you, and you either know it or you don't know it. And then red jasper's great. Stone of endurance.
Love red jasper.
I love red jasper. My new thing is bloodstone, which I got this heart. It's like a larger heart. That is actually really good when you're going to the doctor, because it helps with like the circulation and the blood flow, and helps with your blood pressure if you're having that problem. But bloodstone is the warrior stone. That's what I love.
Like that.
Yeah, it's the warrior stone. And it clears the root, and it emotionally balances, eases anxiety, like everything that all of these crystals help with anxiety and negativity. And
which for
protection.
that base, for your new foundation, for
is
clearing
really what
that
you need.
energy is what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Well, this is a fantastic information on the root chakra, and really being able to have awareness of what it would feel like if it's out of balance, being, out of control, unstable, anxiety, different things for not feeling safe in your environment, in your home, in your relationship. And this can all be tied back as well to childhood things, and trauma, pain, stress, past relationships. That's really where toxic people, environments, places, negative thoughts. This is how all of this comes in. We always work on the body, mind, and spirit, so sometimes it's more of a spiritual, which we'll get into down the road, but sometimes it's more of a spiritual connection. But you'll know if you feel out of balance. And so
100%. You just don't know what it is. You just know that something feels off. Yeah, for sure.
Great beginning.
Yeah.
This was amazing. Turning everything into gold, everybody.
Yeah. Let's get started.